welcome to the One View, the weekly podcast with the hostess, the mostess, JCOne. And with me as always is that easy as Sunday morning, Breezy. How are you doing this week, Breezy?
I have no idea what's going on this week or in my life in general, but I hope everyone else is doing all right. Unless they're doing better than me, then fuck those people.
Good to hear you doing normal. And as always, we've got the one, the only P-Town Cowboy, Double D. How's Double D this week?
What's cracking? Feeling good, feeling great. It's been a long week though, hasn't it? Do you not think it's been a hell of a long year?
Well.
Yeah, I do.
Like, mate, it's
feels like a long time since we've done this.
It does feel like a long time.
When was the last one? Yeah,
do you know?
A month ago, right?
Do you know what the worst thing about this is? I've actually had Monday, Tuesday off this week, yeah, and I feel like I've done a full week. I feel like I've done a full week now. What's that about?
You have to catch up, don't you?
You know,
days off and not expect rest and respite. What's wrong with you?
I know.
Out there. Next week I'm working Monday, but then I have the rest of the week off.
Whoa!
You son of a bitch!
It's only because I have to use the days before they expire.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you marched them
I don't
out.
want these days off, but I gotta take them, so fine.
Fair enough.
What's the plans? What's the plans, Breezy? What are you doing? Talk to us.
Sleeping.
All day.
Yeah, I'll wake up for an hour for this podcast and then go back to sleep until Monday morning.
Sounds like a plan. I like it.
Man's going into hibernation mode.
I know. Hibernation, cuddling his bottle of whiskey for when he wakes up.
I feel like if you're hibernating, you've got to have like 7 bottles of whiskey.
Yeah.
But then put them in the microwave beforehand, so then when you bring them into bed to hibernate, they're all nice and warm.
That's the trick.
Hot whiskey? You Neanderthal.
Do you ever drink hot? Are there any spirits better served hot than cold?
Wine. Wine.
Is it mulled wine?
Yeah,
Oh,
mulled
yeah,
wine.
really
Mulled
nice.
wine, my favourite part of Christmas.
Mulled cider's nice as well. Actually, hot toddies are nice.
Yeah, not bad. Have you ever had a Bene and Hot?
Oh, what?
A Bene and Hot.
No, is that Ben and Jerry's?
Benedictine. Yeah, you have it usually when you've got a bit of a flu or something, but surprising fact, there's a place in Burnley called the Miners, and we hey, less of that. But no.
Burnley on his wall, he throws darts at every day.
But the Miners is the UK's #1 selling bar of Benedictine. Because
is that because they're the only ones that sell it? I mean, I can open a bar and call it the Dastardly Bar, and it sells the Dastardly juice, but
and it sells the most Dastardly juice.
Most in the country.
No, it's not. It's not like that. It's pure and simple. For some reason, when Benedictine, whenever they did it, Burnley adopted it, and fast became a bestseller locally.
Are you gonna take us out for a Benedictine?
I'll take you over to Burnley. For a few shandies. And a Bene and Hot.
Is there any relation to the Benedictine monks then?
I don't know.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Although that would be interesting story, but not that I know of. No.
Maybe Benedict Cumberbatch was a Benedictine monk, and he made the Benedictine drink.
You never know.
That's it. Lore. It's the lore of Benedict Cumberbatch.
Exactly.
Great name. And I wish my name was that cool.
I know. I mean, but saying that, you are Double D, you know. You are. And that's kind of cool in my book.
More related to boobs than it is cool names, though, isn't it?
Yeah, true. So, this week, lads, anyway, I know you rely on me for the news, because I believe this is the general consensus from what I've just heard before the podcast. There's, to be honest, there's not a lot been going on. People have just been complaining about former health secretary and that, what he did during COVID. His private messages have got leaked. Whether they had a calling on Jeremy Vine on Radio 2 today. Other radio stations are available. But they're actually saying, should these messages have been released, was it in the public interest? Personally, the way I look at it wasn't that they were released, it was how they were released. So
before we get into that, what was in the messages? Sorry.
So
some context.
there were a few messages, apparently, discussions with the education secretary about teachers and getting people back into schools and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
There might have been some demeaning comments made and stuff, but I don't know the full story. But for me personally, now listening to Jeremy Vine with interest, because I don't know the full story, I'll be very, very honest, But for me, I seem to agree with all the callers. It's not they were released, it's how they were released. So basically, this journalist, has said, I am releasing them in the public interest. It is in the public interest for people to know these. Well, number one, you're not doing it for that. You're selfish.
No, absolutely.
You're selfish and getting paid a lot of money for this, right? And making a name for yourself. You're getting your name out there. If I was a news reporter reporting on this on the BBC, I'd be saying, and the journalist, I'd never name the journalist because I wouldn't want to give them one iota. If they're doing it in the public interest, not one iota of mention of their name for fame or anything like that.
It's the same. It's the same mentality we should take with like serial killers and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
People
exactly.
Keep their names
Yeah.
on the press.
Yeah.
Now, for me, she's obviously said this, and second reason for it being a load of twaddlecock for people who don't know. Yeah, twaddlecock. It's a great saying. I used to say it all the time, but no, for me personally, I really, really cannot be doing with bullcrap answers like that, because these WhatsApp messages were going to go into the public inquiry into COVID. Right? Whether you think that's a waste of money or not, it's up to you. It's up to you. Pure and simple. Just, form your own opinion. But for me, if they're going to go in a public inquiry, which is public record, which all the journalists can jump on, right? You're selfish. You've done this for money. You've not done this in the public interest, like you say. And what's more, you've actually broken a confidentiality clause.
That's what I was gonna get at. Yeah.
Because through the public inquiry, they would have held up security, as in, if there was anything in these messages that was deemed security conscious to the government or any departments of the government, then they would have held that back, basically redacted it from the report, but acknowledge it and sort of like say we have taken some forms of communication into account that we can't go into detail on. And
so these
that's fine,
texts,
but it's
on that front,
WhatsApp,
then.
WhatsApp messages.
Yeah, so are they from the personal phone? Is it a work phone?
I think it's a mixture, but I think it is a personal phone because Matt Hancock, apparently, this journalist who's released them, was writing a book with him.
Oh my god!
So she's actually brought the confidentiality on the book as well to release these, saying it's in the public's interest. I
think that's the worst part for me, because that's an absolute. I mean, again, we don't know. We'd have to clarify if it's work related, a work phone or a personal phone. But if it's on somebody's personal phone, the way and this is regardless of who you are, of what you do for a job or what position you hold in the state hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
You will always speak to somebody on a personal level completely different how you speak to somebody on a public level.
Yeah,
I would speak to you guys right here, right now, actually probably the same that I'd speak to personally. But by the by, it would be
No, my personal phone is much worse.
Yeah, it's different context, isn't it?
And so,
And there's
yeah,
and that's human. That's part of being human. It's part of being understanding the social responsibility we
exactly.
have. And I don't think, unless it's an extreme level of like, you know what I'm saying. Unless it's an extreme level of completely inappropriateness, I don't think you should hold somebody's personal communication at the same standard as professional communication.
No, I don't think so. Also, I don't think you should make it public. It's someone's private conversation.
It's not fair.
Regardless of who you're speaking to, if it's personal, even if you're discussing work and it's personal, yeah, it should not be released. Simple as that.
That's an insane. I don't get you. That's a ridiculous breach of privacy. Unless it's
but because of the content, this is where it shifted. Because of the content. So let's have a look. So just let me pull it up.
Doing it now.
Oh,
bringing up
we're googling this now.
Man's got the words coming. We could have done this. Breezy, we could have done this, mate. Well, while he was talking, we didn't. Were you so bad?
Yeah.
Do you know what? While you're bringing it up, do you know what it is? And you alluded to it, how you bring us the news and almost we react to it. You are the gardener, yeah. So you're planting the seeds,
right?
Yeah. Do you know we're fertilizing you?
So right. I'm actually having a look at some of these now, and the initial one I've seen is between Matt Hancock and Gavin Williamson, who at the time were the Education Secretary. So basically, Gavin Williamson obviously getting the teachers back into the schools following the first COVID lockdown. This was 1st of October 2020.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so Matt Hancock messaged, cracking announcement today. What a bunch of absolute arses these teachers' unions are. And Gavin Williamson replied saying, I know. They really, really do just hate work. Right. First of all, right.
Probably true, though.
No, but I've actually heard a little bit about this around the office today, and I'm sort of like half forming my opinion, if you know what I mean, about it. And my initial opinion on that first message that I have seen is that he's calling the teachers' unions a bunch of arses. Not teachers. He's not talking about teachers. He's talking about the unions. It's completely separate. And what's the common thing about unions? The Tories hate them.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not unexpected.
You know, but it's been twisted, you see, because I've listened to this today on the radio and people ringing in and stuff. And it's saying, well, he's been saying what a bunch of arses the teachers are. No, he hasn't. He's talking about the teachers' union. I've got no political affiliation whatsoever. I don't give a smeg, right? But at the end of the day, right, get it right. What's he saying? He says, absolute arses the teachers' unions are. And, right, if you've got a beef with the unions, that for me is okay to say. You know, if I've got a beef with an organisation, god damn, I'm going to say it.
I mean, that's anything like this, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you could directly quote those texts, even that first text, and say, oh, this person said, oh, what a bunch of asses the teachers are.
Yeah.
Put it off at the union. You could easily just misrepresent what's been said in the text and factually correct.
Yeah, they'll put that in the headline. That'll be the headline.
Exactly.
The context will be, no one reads the articles. Everyone just reads
and
them.
It spins back to what we were saying earlier about, I think the greater concern for me isn't that that's been said in a private manner to somebody that he works with on his private phone, again, to be debatable. But
by the way, I don't know if it's come off his private phone or work phone, but you know.
But it's been spun out by the tabloid and the publicist and all that good stuff. So, and that's the most disappointing thing. That really is.
I mean, the only thing I would say is apparently there is a bit about testing in care homes, which I'm fully behind. At the end of the day, he's done wrong here. So so in one message is, this were back on 14th of April. This was like a month into no, it'd be 3 weeks into lockdown.
Yeah, March, wasn't it?
Yeah, 23rd of March, something went into lockdown.
Mm.
And he says he seemingly pushes back against advice from England's chief medical officer, Professor Chris Whitty, to test all people going into care homes for COVID. Hancock, backed up by Helen Whately, current health minister, has insisted this with partial picture, missing out vital counter evidence. Now, they're not putting it word for word of what the message says, so I'm a little skeptical about that, because I'm skeptical about all tabloids and news, to be honest. I like to actually see what he actually said, but
Yeah.
if he has pushed back and stopped and said, look, we don't need to get everyone tested or whatever, yeah, then it's, you know, I mean, he's done wrong and should be held accountable.
But on your point, yeah, we need to understand the context of that, because if somebody's come to him and said, right, cool, we should get everyone entering care homes tested, and the quote unquote pushback is him going, all right, let's talk about it first. Talk to me about the data we're seeing. Let's have a look at what the justification, what the cost of it will be, etc., etc. You could glean that as being a pushback, but also that's the right questions to ask to understand the impact of it both ways. Yeah, especially those early days of it, the very early days. If this was early April, we barely know about COVID. We were like 6 weeks in of knowing about COVID at that point, so we were right to be asking the questions about data gathering and impact.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just reading one at next one. Apparently, he texted his old boss, George Osborne. You remember George Osborne, Chancellor of the Exchequer from, it was 2010 to 2015.
Did you know that off the top of your head, or is
off the top of my head?
Wow, this guy and his politic knowledge.
Under former
pub quizzes you do.
under our former Prime Minister, David Cameron. So the ex-Chancellor, he's now the London Evening Standard editor down in...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Which, end of day...
Interesting how there's a crossover skill set there, isn't there?
You know, if he ain't an MP and he's going working a paper, who we to say boo to a goose?
Hey, everyone needs to earn the pay, man.
Yeah. So apparently he called in a favour, saying, I want to hit my target. Basically, the favour was asking for a favourable front page to try and hit his own deadline to reach 100,000 daily COVID tests. Now, for me, this is not a bad thing. But basically,
in this scenario,
he's gone right. We need to get this under wraps. Yeah. We need everyone testing. Everyone who's got COVID, we want them to know so they can isolate. At the time, this is at the time, bearing in mind, this is at the beginning of lockdown, yeah? And, you know, that for me, so, and
I mean,
Osborne's replied, yes, of course, all you need to do tomorrow is give some exclusive words to the Standard, the Evening Standard, and I'll tell the team to splash it. Right, this is just scratching backs. Right.
Of course it is. It's all politicians do.
I mean, 100%. Yeah.
This is not a bad exchange of messages. This is basically saying, will you give us a bit of publicity to get it through to the general public, or, you know, get it out there more and more that we need these tests, yeah, and I'll give you a bit of an exclusive. You know, I don't see the issue here with this second one.
That's just exchange, but I think it's the suggestion that they always make this, but instead of a few words splash, it's usually an exchange for money for the planet.
Yeah, and yeah, in this scenario, great, awesome, yes, 100%. Let's push people to get tested. But what if that was, take it back to the scenario that started this, what if that was him going, I tell you what, I need to make sure that person over there, the world knows what these personal texts have been leaked about, so I need you to put it on the front page. If it was a campaign of slander rather than something which at the heart of it is a good thing,
yeah,
that's not a good sign of back scratching.
No.
But it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It swings and roundabouts. Like Breezy says, it comes part and parcel with being a politician and being involved in the tabloid industry.
Honestly, I was just thinking about it. I think the only person who like morally correctly leaked documentation was Edward Snowden.
I mean,
yeah.
He had to go public, or he would have been dead very quickly, and no one ever heard of him.
Wow.
He's still in a neutral country.
I'm sure he's still in Russia.
No, he's not in Russia.
You know, he was in Russia.
No.
I was wondering, like, oof, no, he feels.
No, where is
he in somewhere like Switzerland or something? Eh?
No,
no, he wasn't. He did go Russia, didn't he?
Russia, right?
Yeah,
Google it.
he did.
Google it. Here we go. Let's go.
Where in the world is Edward Snowden?
Edward Snowden. If I remember the documentary that I watched, he settled in Russia. So American and Russian former computer intelligence consultant. Where does he currently live? Right, Russia has granted him unlimited permanent residency.
Safe place to be at the moment.
Yeah, and they've applied for Russian citizenship basically. And they're raising the son with all the values of America they love. So Russia's gonna love them for that. From Russia with love, with new meaning.
For now, I'll tell you what I've been doing. I'll tell you what that brings us to the point that I've been doing recently. Do you know I went for a phase of looking at tanks?
Yes.
I turned into a right tank geek.
We're back to the tanks.
Back to the tanks. Have you got that soundboard for the tank engine? No? Okay, that's fine. We'll sort that for next time.
I'll give you some gunshots.
Yeah, that was cool. I've been looking at. I started off for the exact same core reason. I was looking at the war in Africa for World War II.
Right.
And then I got into the Cold War. And then I got into I kid you not, I spent about 3 hours lying in bed reading about the Cold War. This is the height of what's exciting in my life at the moment.
Did it send a chill down your spine reading about the Cold War though?
It's cold. No, but how horrific that was did.
That was a bad joke, but you know me, king of bad jokes.
And it wasn't even the good part of the Cold War. Like it wasn't espionage and stuff like that.
The war wasn't up yet, you know.
It wasn't.
Oh Lord,
yeah, it wasn't like the Cuba Missile Crisis or anything like that.
God.
It was like the economical side.
And you spent 3 hours on this.
It was like 1:45 when I looked at the clock and I was like, maybe I should stop.
Wow.
So bad, man.
Oh, that is bad.
Terrific.
I'm going to bring you back to these messages, by the way, because I've just been reading a few while you've been talking there.
Oh, go on then.
It's the headline of the week.
Segue.
Everyone's talking about it. Everyone is.
You, James. You're the only one talking about it.
No.
Go on then. What's
So apparently, right. So Gavin.
Don't make me Google the news. I'll do it.
Yeah. So Gavin, what's his name? The educational guy. He messaged Hancock on 10th of May ahead of schools reopening. Asked for the health secretary's help in getting PPE for schools, and as a last resort. So, like, apparently in one of the messages, it said, as a last resort, so they can't use it as a reason not to open. That's
what he said.
Yeah, Gavin, not Hancock.
So there was a push to get the schools reopened. So he's sought out PPE to protect everybody, and he said for the sole reason to stop them from reopening.
As a last resort, so they can't use it as an excuse not to open. It can be taken negative.
I don't know.
But is it really negative?
It's not that bad, is it?
No. Apparently, the education secretary texted all of them will open but some will just want to say they can't, so they have an excuse to avoid having to teach what joys. You know what? That just says you got a load of disgruntled employees.
Was that Hancock that responded with that?
No, that was the education secretary saying that. So that's right. So all this news this week, all I've been hearing is this is about Hancock. So far, I'm actually, apart from the obviously the care homes, pushing back on the full testing. I'm not hearing much more about him. So then Boris Johnson was having misgivings about the government shielding advice with Chris Whitty. So he addressed Chris Whitty in a WhatsApp group and said, if you're over 65, your risk of dying from COVID is probably as big as your risk from falling down the stairs. And we don't stop older people from using. We don't stop older people from using the stairs. What do you think? To be fair,
we don't stop people from using
wow.
stairs.
Maybe we should.
Mate, if I was in like a house without carpet on the stairs, that's fucking deadly. I tell you.
I'm running my Ethernet cable down the stairs. It's probably gonna kill me sometime this week.
Yeah.
You know, with the Ethernet cable. I tell you what, I was thinking about it then. Do you know when you were talking about all these politicians?
Yeah.
Do you not think politics is basically like wrestling?
Go on, why?
It's fake.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say that. But
get in the ring with me. Get in the ring with me, Breezy.
It's fake. It's predetermined.
I don't know what you're more
Politics
upset about, though,
fake,
JC. Are you upset about the politics being fake or wrestling being fake?
Wrestling is
politics are still real to me, damn it!
Fictional, predetermined sports entertainment.
Just like politics.
If people think it's fake, I dare them to get in the ring and go chop for chop with one of the established wrestlers. By the end of it, they'll be crying.
Oh, yeah, I've always said that. And I also, just to clarify, I didn't say wrestling was fake. I was just drawing parallels between wrestling and politics. That was Breezy. You can chop him all day. Anyway, so the parallels talking about, right? So, what is politics, right? At its peak, yeah, it's two or more politicians going at each other, to be crowned the victor, yeah.
It's a popularity contest, isn't it?
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you start to see the parallels between wrestling. It's kind of the same with the wrestling, and it's not always the case where the most popular one wins in wrestling, but a lot of that drives who the winner is, right? Behind the scenes. I'm inferring that it's fake, by the way. Politics, if you take away the running side of it, the other side of it is them campaigning to get their name, their image, what they believe in, their ethos, and what they're striving to achieve out in the open for the public to follow them. Exactly the same for wrestling, because you've got stuff like the conversations that happen backstage and the advertising and all that good stuff that wants to put people in the limelight to be able to demonstrate it. Politics and wrestling is the same thing.
No, I will strongly disagree with that. And wrestling is an entertainment business. Politics is a serious business. Apparently,
I mean, they're as serious as each other.
I don't think
so.
I fucking hate politicians. Honest to God,
I do.
For a long time, I genuinely believed politicians didn't know what they were doing. From every interview I saw, now I realise they know exactly what they're doing, which is worse. Like, they come out, they talk shit, and it's like, yeah, you know what you're doing is wrong. You know exactly what you've done.
Well, yeah.
But you're benefiting yourself in some way.
Well, exactly.
Like, I hate them so much.
Just a final point from me around politics.
Why don't they talk like real people?
Well, yeah, exactly. No, Breezy, you're absolutely right.
Say like a formal email.
Yeah,
they speak formal email rather than English.
Just speak normally. Have a normal conversation.
Yeah, walk out there and the parents go, "Hey guys, the economy's fucked. I don't know what to do about it."
Well, I don't know about the slang and the swearing, but at least
swearing's a valid communication technique.
Yeah, but at 1 o'clock it won't go down well on BBC Parliament at 1
Why
PM.
not? If it's getting
so I can change the watershed.
What's shit?
My first act is to abolish the watershed.
Plus, you've got to look at it from a point of view of sort of manners as well. While swearing, yeah, may be commonplace to a lot of people in the UK, yeah.
Some would be shocked and appalled.
Right. Some people,
especially up north,
some people would be offended. It's not often, right? I know I do get irate sometimes on here, but it's or a little wound up and coming hot, but it's not often. And people actually commented on this because someone got a shock face at work one time when I swore, because I don't actually swear that much. The reason is, right, you don't need to swear to make a point. If someone comes at me both barrels, swearing the head off, yeah, trying to make a point, in my head, I'm just saying, oh, shut up. I'm not even listening to you. What did you say?
Yeah.
You know, whereas if someone comes to me and explains something, and they don't have to be prim and proper like some of these politicians, we've got to remember as well, guys, that it's partially how our country is sort of semi-divided on a lot of things, but it's semi-divided.
The north and the south.
North and the south, yeah, and we've got
London gets everything. The north gets nothing.
Yeah, but at the same time, we've
and they'll cut off Scotland if they could. I mean, literally, if they had a store, they would just cut that off and send it to the sea.
We've got to remember there's an established conduct in Parliament, yeah, and
Why?
but
really,
yeah,
have you ever seen the Houses of Parliament? I've never seen like that's like a cage of monkeys.
It is.
So everyone's standing there going, half of them don't want to speak anyway.
No, that's what he means by established.
Yeah. Everyone like stands to right. They're like, half these guys don't want to say anything, but like, I better look busy.
But as well, one of the main issues with sort of going back to linguistics and how they speak in Parliament is down south. They have so many more MPs. If you actually counted north of Birmingham and Scotland, yeah, and Northern Ireland as well, let's not forget our brothers across the Irish Sea, and you compared it to the number of MPs in the south of England, I think you would find the south more. Now, I can't quote that because I'm not going to sit here and count every single MP below Birmingham and do a cut-off. But I would bet 10 to the dozen from what I see, because I watch all these, when they go to the polls at nights and stuff after elections, I watch all these little territory maps they do, like this one's gone blue, this one's gone red. And I can tell you what, there is... I wouldn't be surprised, I would not be surprised if there were double the amount below Birmingham.
Probably.
And that is sort of goes back to the language, the behaviour, the mannerisms, and a lot of these people as well, say around London area and Kent and that, they are pushed to go to Oxford and Cambridge. You know, they're not going to come up here and go Newcastle Uni.
Though, isn't it?
It's like politicians become a career and not a fucking...
That's an interesting point, actually.
It's like, it's not like you're not the prime minister to be the benefit of the country anymore. It's like, I'm going to fix the country. I'm going to fix it. Like, no, it's a job. I'm going to go study politics and become a politician as a career. So I think there's more career politicians and actual people who...
That's a really interesting point. Yeah, was that the case 40 years ago?
And the ones who probably do give a shit probably can't afford it.
So
that's the point I was going to make.
Well, the thing is as well...
Cambridge or Oxford or something like... You're clever enough, but you don't have you're not getting in.
That's representative of the issues of those that are serving in politics and not representative of the issues that
they are completely out of touch. They are completely out of touch.
Oh yeah, have you ever watched Ali G in the House?
No, I don't like.
Oh, that
like 30 years ago.
That has got to the funniest thing in history.
Right.
He goes to the House of Commons, doesn't
Yeah. So he gets elected as an MP for down London, and he walks in, and they're all rapping at each other, having a go at each other in common.
Rah.
And he just walks up to two leaders and goes, puts his hand on the lips and goes, shh. And it's like, keep it real, man. And it's so true, though.
The respecter speech or whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Respect, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? I'm a big opposition of party politics. I don't like party politics because if you don't, the little people in the back who are talking more sense don't speak up, but they get shut down by the party. So if say there's 100 people in your party, and 75 of you want to vote one way and 25 of you want to vote another, yeah? If you don't vote the way the 75 went, you're kicked out of the party in some cases.
Your vote's lost and you're discredited.
Yeah, which is completely wrong. At the end of the day, every MP should be able to vote. If you have a bad idea and you lose a vote, you know what? It were a bad idea. Don't, stop messing around with the system. We don't need it. If it were my way, I'd disband all parties, and I don't know. It's
they just reformed though.
No. America has its issues, but I'd sort of like. But I like to see a system, and I don't have all the answers. This is just me, JC, having an opinion. But at the end, I will give you, I will put stuff out there, and if people, want to join in the conversation or not, for me, I would disband our parties, and I would have a selection of what you want to vote for. Who wants to be the housing secretary? Who wants to be the sports minister? Who wants to be the digital minister? Right? And I would sort of like I would mix it up in that sense, because what you would find then, right? You would have MPs from the now left, the now right, the centre, whatever, and they would have to work together to actually have a form of government. And actually keep the country running properly as well. Properly.
Do you know what I would do?
What?
Do you know Battle Royale? The Japanese show.
God.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think Hunger Games follows the same sort of system, where it's like a random class is thrown into this island and they all kill each other. Yeah.
Last man standing is the Prime Minister.
No, I wasn't going to say that. Actually. But all these political positions that somebody could fill, I would just random ticket it. so then a randomer would serve in that position for, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? And they would have 2 weeks to understand, right, what the role entails, and then 2 weeks to put together propositions on what changes and the future of that position.
And what if they're really bad at it?
They get voted out.
Okay.
That's when the voting comes in once you give the chance of somebody that doesn't have a bias. They don't have no bias. They just look at the situation, they look at what options are available, and they go, do you know what, this is what I think might be the best option. And then we can vote and go, do you know what? Sounds like some good shit.
Fair dues.
I was thinking about something the other day. I was thinking, for some reason, 2 things ran into my head. It was like, one was a quote. Do you know who Nikola Tesla is, or was?
Yeah.
There's a quote. Yeah, there's a quote from him. Like, I don't know I can't remember when he lived. I don't know what I said 100 years ago, but maybe it was. He basically had a quote predicting the telephone. It's like decades before it came out. Like predicted it perfectly, like on communication. And I remember I was watching a video on YouTube from like the 80s, 70s, something like that. And it's this scientist explaining computers to a bunch of kids.
Right.
And this guy's going like, oh yes, so once we've got this established, computers will be able to fit on your desk, and people will be able to work out in the countryside instead of the city. And people knew this decades ago.
Wow.
And I'm just like saying this, so I'm thinking, where are the people now who know? We should know now what we should have in decades, right? Somebody knows. Well,
Yeah,
no,
there's-
we
No.
don't. We know the
there's
planet's
now.
completely fucked.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
There's nothing.
We are.
Where are the flying cars? We're not going to get them. Planet's fucked.
Yeah,
Might get 'em. They're coming, mate. They're coming.
you know.
Amazon's working on it.
But yeah, but we can't. Let's face it, we can't fix politics in one night.
I'm sick of politics.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we should have a break from.
Actually, can blatantly change the subject.
Yeah, I think we should have a break from politics and
Forever.
and just go into our favourite time of the show.
Already?
Munch or Punch!
I forgot. I didn't do it. Shit.
I really don't know what's going on with everything tonight. I can't actually hear any sound of what's actually happening. So you know.
To be honest, when I heard it, my first thoughts were it's movie time. But then I realized, shit, no, it's not. It's Munch Punch. I got my timing messed up.
And this week we have got Breezy in the hot seat. For all people who don't know the little game show we run here, we give Breezy 20 options, and he has to say whether he would munch, like, fancy, appetize over it, slaver over it, drool like a dog, who cares, or punch it away. So this week, Breezy, we've decided to tell you a little bit.
Yeah.
We have gone back to basics. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to do the formatting, but we can still make this work. So, Breezy, do you have my stream up?
Yes.
Okay. So, we're going to flick across now to the Munch or Punch.
Let's go.
So, Breezy, so this week, quite simple. I'm going to show you a few, let's say, savoury dishes from around the world.
Savoury?
The weirdest foods I could find around the world today. And we want to know, would you munch or punch? So, first on the list today, from South Korea, is penis fish.
What are penis fish? Have we looked into that?
I'll be honest. We were like kids just giggling at the names at work. Put this together like on my dinner.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
I can tell you a little bit more about some of them.
Penis fish.
No, punch that. Punch that.
You punch that? Oh, he's going to punch that. Not a fan of the penis fish.
No.
No, apparently not. So, second on the agenda tonight is the Casumazu from Italy. Now, before you sort of entertain this one, Breezy, because I'll be honest, looking at it, it don't look that bad.
It's good. Looks like Torn in a hole, yeah.
Yeah, it does not look that bad. But in fact, so the Casumazu is pecorino cheese that has been completely decomposed and occupied by maggots. And, and it's dangerous to eat and can be fatal. It's banned in most countries, but it does originate from Italy, where it was eaten.
I think we know what the answer is here.
Eaten by those in desperate poverty who had little else to eat. It's a sought after delicacy on the black market now. And they just want to try the infamous illegal cheese. So would you munch or punch?
That's hilarious.
Actually, kill me? No.
He's gonna punch.
Oh, great, yeah. That changes my mind. Nonsense.
Third on the list tonight is Hakari. Hakari? From its an Icelandic delicacy of fermented shark meat, which is famed for its incredible pungent odour. It does take around 9 weeks to ferment.
Oh,
process.
Stuff that they bury.
And that's done to reduce the natural toxins in the shark meat, making it ready to eat or cook. Sorry,
Oh, fuck it.
eat.
I'll munch that. Fuck it.
You're
eating shark?
munching it.
I didn't think you'd eat
Hey!
shark.
I do, but it's not the fin, so it's fine.
He's munching that.
Well,
Next.
this is like some legendary Icelandic thing, so I gotta try it.
Sir Strömming in Sweden, very similar to the shark. So it's well known as the smelliest food in the world. And for very good reason. It's fermented again, and it's banned on planes due to the powerful odour it emits. The Swedes normally eat it with thin flatbreads and oatbreads, and it reportedly has very sour, sharp, peppery taste with a salty baseline.
Yes. Why are you putting such a sexy voice on for this? I don't understand.
Mostly, though, people say it tastes awful.
Why am I aroused and disgusted at the same time?
It's only for the brave. Yeah, he's punching it. He's not brave enough for that.
No! I'm not going to prove my bravery by eating food. Fuck off.
Intelligent man.
Oh, number 5 is the Hormiga Culona from Colombia.
Ants.
Also known as Fat Bottom Man, you make the rockin' world go round. Yeah. Oh, they are either. By the way, they are either roasted or fried and eaten like peanuts. So fair dues.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So next on the list is I really need to say it's just cow's intestine tacos. It's considered a delicacy in Mexico. And yeah, you can't say much about it. It's not that uncommon. In fact, there's lots of countries around the world that have traditionally eaten it. But Mexico and Portugal are the two countries that have continued to eat it regularly.
No.
How's that different from like haggis, though? That's basically the same thing, right?
Haggis is a sheep's stomach.
Yeah, but like potato, it's all meat.
Haggis is the heart's lung and liver of a sheep. Haggis is actually delicious. But
that's what I'm saying.
But it's not green.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the veg, mate.
It does look like something that's come out of my nose after I've had a flu. Number 7 is fugu fish from Japan, the land of the rising sun.
It's a super poisonous fish.
It's a puffer fish that's eaten as a delicacy in Japan and known for the fact that it could potentially deadly if not prepared correctly.
Yeah.
So it naturally has poison. So you need to be very careful, and it's only selected chefs are aroused
to do it?
To prepare it. Would you munch or punch?
I'll munch it.
Oh, he's munching the fugu!
Go.
Brilliant.
I trust them.
So, number 8 is the Brazilian version of goat's cheese.
Why is it
now, the worst thing about this dish is the way it looks, and it looks disgusting. But buchada de bode is essentially the intestines of a kid's goat that is cooked and served in the stomach. So basically,
so it's like haggis.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It's
serious right now. I said the last intestine is what haggis, and you were like, "Nah, mate."
This one looks better though, so I'll munch it. Fuck it.
Hey, he's gonna munch it. I'm sort of getting a pattern here. Anything that won't kill him, he'll try.
Yeah.
Number 9 now is the quiet guinea pig from Peru. Apparently, it's hugely popular in Peru. Very easy to find. It's essentially a guinea pig, which can be cooked in a number of ways, such as spit roasting or frying. Tourists often want to try the kwai.
Why are you not eating that? Surely.
I had guinea pigs as a kid. I can't eat a guinea pig.
Oh, okay.
Fair dues.
You'd rather eat stuffed intestine than a guinea pig, yeah?
Yes.
The next one is from China.
No, I know about this.
And if I have to really explain why they're called century eggs,
because they're 100 years old.
Yes, exactly. They're preserved and they're usually of duck, chicken, or quail, so quite normal. But as you can imagine, after a century, they're pretty smelly.
Well, I don't like eggs anyway, so.
I don't think they would taste like eggs after 100 years, mate.
So they might be better. No, but no.
They might be better.
Oh.
No, it'd be 100 times worse. So no, I don't like eggs, period. So 100-year-old eggs? No.
Fair dues, he's punching the eggs. So, skipping forward a little bit, we've next got crocodile skewers from Australia, from Down Under.
100%. They look great. I've been wanting to try crocodile for a while. It's quite fun.
They are known as a delicacy, and in the USA, apparently, they do make a similar recipe with alligator meat, particularly in Florida.
Know the differences there.
Florida and Louisiana.
Difference between crocodile and alligator?
Yeah.
I mean, like, from a taste perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I could say it's in... All right, well, physically it's in the nose, but otherwise, one will see you later, one will see you in a while.
Next on the list is chicken feet.
Yeah, I'll eat chicken feet. If they're deep fried or something.
To be honest, you eat just chicken feet ain't much. Next, we go to Canada, where they have the jellied moose nose. Now, we don't actually have the picture of these, but
we just got a moose nose.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's similar to the sheep's skull I found earlier. So it is. So basically, it is the snout of the moose, made in a particular way. It is. Sorry, 1 second. The jellied. It's a delicacy in Canada and Alaska. Its nose is cooked in garlic, salt, pickling spices, vinegar, and then cooled in a broth to form a jelly-like substance.
Oh God, that's what kills it for me. The jelly element.
The jelly, yeah. Everything else sounded really good.
Yeah,
I'll try it.
Hey, he's gonna try it. Next,
for a man that ate nothing but margarita pizza for the majority of your life,
he's expanded his taste buds. Right, so the next one on the list is bull's testicles from Argentina.
Have it.
So the testicles are fried and served with salsa. But in the US, you might know them as Rocky Mountain oysters. Oh, he's gonna go for it. I bet the Latino. Pun intended. Next on the list is canned bread from the US of A. Now,
what even is canned bread? How is that
exactly right?
Now, I actually saw this and I was like, you know what? I actually do want to try that.
That's right. I'm just like,
it literally is bread in a can.
In a can.
What is it in a can though?
That's a whole new level of not being able to cook.
Well, we have breakfast in a can over here, don't we?
No, kind of.
Yeah, we do.
Like
HB do it.
Beans in a can. Yeah, I've never bought one of those, and God help me, I hope I never will.
You're going to America in a couple of months, aren't you, Breezy? You should bring some canned bread home.
Breakfast.
I would love him. That's going to be a challenge for him to find a canned bread. Can you bring
back 3 cans of bread for me?
Yeah.
I'll try. I'll have a look.
We'll eat them live on stream.
Yeah, canned bread.
Next is another Mexico delicacy. It is beef tongue tacos. It's sure like their tacos. So, it's a delicacy in Mexico where the tongue of a cow is cooked in a sauce and served in tacos with chilies. So, basically, instead of minced beef, you get a tongue.
Sounds good to me. I'll eat that.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to eat the tongue. Right. So, we are getting towards the end now. Number 17 is from Thailand, and it's dancing shrimp, otherwise known as goong ten.
Tell me, are they dancing because they're still alive?
Well, you know it. So, dancing shrimp is a delicacy in northern Thailand, where a bowl of live shrimp are doused in sauce and served to the customer to eat raw. The shrimp are often calm until they are covered in the sauce.
Yeah, I would be too.
Which causes them to jump and try and escape, giving the illusion they are dancing. The sauce is the fast, delicious, so the flavour and taste is not actually that gross. But the fact you're eating a live animal, that is one of the most bizarre sensory experiences you can have with food.
No.
Is it jumping around in your mouth?
No. I know the line at eating living things. Yeah. Oh, obviously.
The dancing shrimp can shimmy off that plate. Been punched. So, number 18 is Muttak or Muttuk from Canada. Now, quite simply, it's a delicacy consisting of skin and blubber of boarhead, narwhal, and beluga whales cut into chunks, often served raw, also can be pickled and deep fried before serving soy sauce. Have they just gone Scotland with this stuff?
I mean, just
deep fry it and put a couple of pickles with it. Job's done.
Fry it.
I'll try it. I'll put it.
Oh, he's gonna munch that.
Fat and skin, fried fat and skin.
Yeah, you get it on most meats.
You know what? As a vegetarian, I respect that these are just foods that nobody else wants to eat as standard. So it's like, do you know what? Let's not waste it. I like it.
Yeah,
I respect it.
So
you choose that one part of the animal, just throw the rest away. Though.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's anti-wasteful.
Penultimate, we have the Presskopf from Germany, which basically is a German sausage that is made of cooking various animal parts with internal organs in a broth. It's then formed into a gelatine and cut into slices of sausages to eat cold, either on its own or in a sandwich. Now, would you munch or punch the sausage?
I'll try it on a sandwich.
Hey! And last but not least, we have...
If no one told me what it was, it'd be fine.
Probably. So, last but not least, I was waiting for this country to come up because I've read a lot about this country in my time, and they do have some bizarre dishes.
You don't know!
And we've got coconut worms from Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam.
Oh, worm's dead.
Honestly, one of my favourite films. So, it's coconut worm, which is a type of snout beetle, as its larvae stage. So, basically, the beetle lays its eggs, the larvae. This is what you get. Also known as sorry, Dungdu.
Say that again for me. Sorry, what?
Dungdu. I can't.
With you.
Dungdu.
Yeah. No, also known as Dungdu. JC's broken over two syllables.
So, it's also known as Dungdu in Vietnamese. A coconut worm is light yellow in colour, generally sweet in taste, and about 3 to 5 centimetres long in size. Usually eaten live, a single coconut worm is sold for about 25,000 Vietnamese dong.
James.
Sorry, these words. Sorry, in case anyone is watching who isn't aware of what a dong is, in the UK, basically it's slang.
It's currency, and I don't see any joke in it.
It's slang for dick in the UK.
How dare you?
Dong is slang for dick in the UK. And the fact they've called coconut worms tongue do. Oh, anyway.
You're alright though, mate. You're alright.
I'm gonna calm down in a minute. I'm gonna calm down in a sec.
You're gonna shake it off.
Oh, that's bloody hilarious.
You know what?
Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking mick out of anyone's language or out like that. But the fact that it does translate as that when they mean totally different things over here is absolutely hilarious. So, would you munch or punch the dung do?
Well, when in Vietnam, I'll probably try it. I'll take a bite. I'll take a chopstick worth.
He's gonna munch the dung do. And thank you, Brad, for that. That was great stuff. And that concludes today's. Oh, okay. I'll get over it eventually. Munch or punch. Oh my.
Landsy Quartz asked a good question there.
Oh. What was the last interesting thing you all ate? Oh, interesting thing. Go on, lads, you go on that one.
I'm thinking.
I'm not a very exciting eater, but I took a bit of a chance recently. I wasn't sure whether to go through with it, but I did it, and I don't regret it. To be honest, it was a really enjoyable experience. So there was this pasta that I made on a Friday night, and I tried it on a Wednesday night afterwards, and I was like, mate, that's a long time, and there was no negative consequences. So that's the most interesting thing I ate recently.
All right. I think the last interesting thing I ate was chicken and cashew nuts from the Chinese. Might seem normal to some people, but bear in mind, I'm a creature of habit. I like my kebabs. I like my sweet and sour chicken. And to actually have cashew nuts and the spices within the recipe that I got from the Chinese, it was, it was quite different. I don't tend to go for exotic animals or anything like that. What about you, Breezy?
Nothing too interesting. I don't know how you pronounce this. How do you pronounce? Someone tell me how you pronounce this. I made some chicken. It was
You put it in Discord or?
It's in the chat. So I made a chicken with like sauce and with this
Creme fraiche.
Yeah,
creme fraiche.
That's about it. That's as much interesting.
You're to be fair, credit where credit's due, Breezy. You're pretty experimental on the cooking front, aren't you?
I can be.
Yeah, I've always liked it because considering like we joked about it earlier, how you tend not to move outside your comfort zone for foods. You quite like cooking it up outside your comfort zone. So yeah.
Do you like a bit of fusion?
I don't know what fusion is, mate.
Oh, it's just where you combine two, like say you went with Chinese food and Italian food and combined.
Yeah, I like a bit of fusion.
Usually I'll make salmon with that and some leek or something. Is it leek? Something else. And of course I've been doing like bell pepper and beef because I've been watching Cowboy Bebop.
Hey.
That's some good inspiration.
Yeah, I'm just. For me personally, I like a bit of fusion. I often fuse Mexican and Indian. You know, sort of like I could make a Cajun korma. I've made a fajita korma before now.
Sounds good. I like it.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's a good fusion of, especially with the creme fraiche. And yeah, you got to make it from scratch sometimes as well. But yeah, I just tend to get spices and mix them together, and just try and mix it up.
I like how Breezy's put his shades on because he knows what time it is.
It is. It's that time once again. Once again, it's that time for. Hey, we're gonna get sultry with the big band. It's Brad's movie of the week. Oh yeah. So, Breezy, this week, what is your movie of the week?
Well, have you ever wanted to see Batman fight Wolverine on film?
Yes, is the right answer to that question.
Well, you won't get it here.
Dick.
Fair dues.
But you will.
I thought you were about to blow all away with this fan-made amazing film.
But you will get Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman as rivals in this film.
Oh, okay.
Well, I kind of did something there. I'm sorry. So going back to 2006, and this is The Prestige.
Right.
Which is a film by Christopher Nolan, who you may know from a little film called The Dark Knight, Inception.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I would say this is his most underrated film. He made it before The Dark Knight, so he didn't really have that kind of exposure yet. So basically, it's a period film about two aspiring rival magicians, and each one wants to be the best. It starts out with this somewhat friendly rivalry as their apprentices, I would say, and then as they both advance their careers, the rivalry becomes personal and just escalates and escalates to obsession because like trying to up each other and the obsession of one magician trying to learn how the other one does his trick.
Nice.
Greatest magic trick I've seen, and it's just so a great cast. You know, the two magicians, Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Michael Caine is also in it. Scarlett Johansson's in it, who I keep forgetting is in it. There's like an assistant.
When was this? 2006.
Yep. Also, probably the most subscribing role.
What's the name of the
David
movie
Bowie
again? Breezy.
as Nikola Tesla features in this film.
Look at him. This is why I brought Mr. Tesla.
Hey. It's like his word of a day. Yeah. What's the film called again? Sorry, Breezy.
The Prestige.
I am actually gonna. You know what? I've got some time on my hands this weekend because, the other half's out of town. So I will actually look to actually watch this.
Should be doing this every week, JC.
Absolutely.
This is Brad's film of the week.
In fact, I've actually already
watch it right now.
Right now. Stop what you're doing right now. Watch.
Let's have a look. I might have seen this actually. It is a very good film if I remember it right.
Have you got any other talking points, Breezy?
Just it's an excellent film. It's just very underrated, very worth a watch, very atmospheric. Just I don't think there's anything else quite like it. Like this
unique.
Unique. Thing with Nolan is he does these very grounded, realistic films, but with a completely weird edge. So it's this period drama, but it's about magicians, and magic may potentially be real, or there is something more than just a trick going on.
It's a good take to have that.
So.
I watched the other. What's the recent big magician illusionist films?
Oh, what's his face from Social Network? Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Not Mark Zuckerberg, but
I know what you mean.
Now you see me.
Now you see me.
Yeah. I enjoyed that, but it's way better than
Yeah, I watched the first one recently. Now, do you know what? I really enjoyed it as well. But on your point, to take it back to Prestige, if it does it with the air of, do you know what? Actually, these guys could be proper magicians. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
It's like not exactly. It's like the way it does. The magic they do is very mundane, actually, because of the time. Set. But then this big trick that this one magician has, the other guy just can't figure out how he does it, and this is why he goes to see Tesla because Tesla built something for him.
All right.
There's like a scene where spoilers, but someone's showing someone the machine. After this is it's not told in chronological order, typical Nolan.
Tesla coil.
Something shows him something. It's like, oh, is that? It's like I'm sure that bells and whistles. There's just like an ordinary and disappointing secret. Most disappointing of all, Your Honor. It's like there is no secret. It's real. Like this was built by a wizard. Like someone who can actually do what magicians pretend to do. So
that's cool.
That sounds really cool. You know what? I am going to take time out to find that this weekend online. Hopefully, I've just checked Disney Plus and Netflix and can find it. But if
let me have a quick look. I usually like to check.
I was going to say, usually you tell us where we can watch it.
Give me 2 seconds.
I may need to otherwise rent it on Amazon Prime and it'll cost me £3.49, but money well spent based on your...
That's politician money, that.
Well, yeah, you know, I don't get paid for much.
I'll claim it back on expenses as well.
Claim the VAT.
Prestige. Okay, hold on. No, I don't have Apple TV. Sod off. No, I don't want to watch. You can watch it now on Apple TV. I'm learning.
Oh right, I've got Apple TV. Got Apple, Disney Prime.
I believe it's on Amazon Prime. You know, like Do you ever use a website? Go, oh, this is a really good website. It's really helpful, and then they update it and then make it like 10 times worse, ruin it.
Yeah, because developers
That's
don't.
kind of what I'm experiencing now.
Yeah, developers tend to not know how users are gonna actually use something. They think something's a really cool idea and then work out it's not user friendly and everyone hates it, and then in some cases, very rare, they do roll it back. In other cases,
also, it's on the wrong website.
That's hilarious.
Superb.
You got 100-year egg on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the United Kingdom, looks like the only place it's available. It's not available anywhere to stream. You have to rent it, I'm afraid.
Get yourself to the local CEX, and they'll have a used copy. I'm sure.
Probably get it for like 50 pence on DVD or something.
Yeah, literally.
I think I've got a copy somewhere.
Exactly.
Good suggestion, though, Brad. That's a great.
Yeah, definitely great suggestion. So
doing party at Breezy's in the next 3 weeks. If anybody wants to join, that'd be great.
well, yeah, we can have a movie part. We haven't arranged it though, have we yet? We did talk about a movie night, but we haven't arranged it yet. So.
Oh, do you mean a literal like we used to?
Yeah.
That'd be good, that.
Yeah, we'll have to arrange it.
My house again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But on a slightly different note, me and Breezy did go with some friends bowling at the weekend. And I believe Double D thought our scores were trash.
First round was awful, yeah.
No. Breezy's was pretty trash. Yours weren't too bad, JC. Yours weren't too bad.
I got a respectable 100 on the second go.
I would say if you get 3 digits, you're in the win. If you get 80 and above, you're all right. If you get anything less than 80, then you're shite.
I got above 80 in the second game.
There you go.
It's kind of weird.
I tend to go down because I drink while I'm bowling. So like my first game is top tier, and then it just plummets. Yeah.
Well, I'm still all over the place. Somehow I get like gutter balls and strikes in the same game. I don't know how.
Is it? It's the magic, mate. It's the magic.
It's all. Subconsciously, I'm throwing the ball to the side.
I love bowling. We should do bowling. I want to bowl as much as possible.
All right, let's go.
Few beers, bowling, can't complain.
Right now.
Come on. Just leave the podcast on. We'll go.
But what I will say this week is I am going to end very shortly with the song of the week. Now, this week, I do like to mix it up, and I do like to get certain bands out there that I find and stuff. And this week, the band is called Def Lev, which I kind of like the name because obviously Def Leppard, and you associate it with that straight away. Yeah, so they've done they're pretty great, and I hope you boys enjoy this. Cause I know, especially Breezy loves the warehouse and stuff, and the metal down there, and yeah, sometimes. But I just chose this song because I thought it was quite a good one when I was going over it. So just bear with me, and here you go. See what you think. Pretty decent, isn't it? I'm kind of digging this. I was listening to it today, working full, and while I was working away and checking stuff out over lunch, and it was pretty sweet. I was quite enjoying it. But the song is Rock Dog, as in DAWG, by Def Lev, and yeah, it's decent tune. Really, I really enjoyed listening to it this week. But that's all we have for this week, lads. I'm afraid we've got. I really don't.
You need to get some metrics.
I really don't. It don't exactly give me number of views on the site because it. And to be honest, it's about the feel. Do you like it or not? And I would dig in that this week, so I went with it.
All the views. That's the answer.
Yes, but that's all we have the time for this week. So I want to say thank you to you. Always do this. You always do this.
You might go. We're staying.
No,
we're staying here.
Well, the stream will be ending either way. No, seriously. Thank you to anyone who tuned in this week. Really appreciate it as always. A massive thanks from me, JC. The one, the only easiest Sunday morning breezy.
So.
And the one, the only, the P-Town Cowboy Double D.
Evening.
Enjoy your weekend
You have
and take care.
He's got a cold.